Right now, clouds are rolling in above Winston-Salem as the Triad braces for a round of severe thunderstorms. Some areas already seeing rain as a strong cold front starts to move through. It's expected to get worse as we go into the evening. That is why our team has issued a weather impact alert for tomorrow. Hey there, I'm Ben Briscoe. The storms are expected to be so bad, Guilford County just canceled school for tomorrow about 20 minutes ago. They say the winds will be too strong for school buses to drive safely on the road. We're talking winds over 60 miles per hour, even a threat of tornadoes. Meteorologist Alex Williams is here to prepare you, not scare you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to give you the knowledge so you can make the decisions that you need to make to keep you and your family safe as we go through the day tomorrow. There's Winston-Salem right now dealing with that gray overcast sky. There's Wendover. Again, it looks dark and threatening, but the ingredients are not quite here yet. We're going to see those, I think, move in towards the later evening hours, and that'll give us the better potential for maybe some stronger storms. Right now, it is raining at PTI, and there is Greensboro Skycam, 58 degrees. That's the dew point. That has definitely come up quite a bit in just the last, say, 12 hours or so. And so those dew points are going to continue to climb. Notice the southeasterly wind that we have, and so we're going to continue to keep this as we watch that warm front continue to creep further and further to the north. Look at Reedsville, 71 right now, 65 in Greensboro, 63 in Winston-Salem, 66 in Davidson County. So the next couple of hours you will expect to see showers. I think we could see a few thunderstorms as well, and then maybe a little bit of a break in the activity. Temperatures tomorrow topping out in those mid-60s, even into the morning. And then I think it's the mid-morning that we're going to see the greatest potential for maybe some of these stronger storms coming through. So temperatures are staying in those lower to middle 60s. Notice the dip here as toward the late portions of the afternoon into the evening. So severe storms will be likely gusts 30 to 40 miles an hour. So what we're seeing right now, scattered showers continue to lift to the north, and that's all along a warm front. That most likely is entering into kind of the southern tier of our area. We're kicking off some of those scattered showers around that. Reedsville getting a pretty good downpour right now across Rockingham County into, say, Stokes County. Surrey seeing a little bit of those returns, as well as Forsyth. Not a whole lot there in Guilford County, but over to Alamance County, I-40 could be seeing some of these scattered showers. This is what I'm going to be watching very closely. This stuff south of Charlotte, because notice how they're distinct, and this shape here, very supercellular. So most likely they may not be rotating very strongly, but they're weakly rotating, and that's why we've issued the weather impact alert day into the day tomorrow. That's going to encompass the morning and the afternoon. We're going to see 2 rounds of storms. You want to have at least 3 ways to receive warning. So as we go through the evening, we'll have to watch these little isolated showers. They could be rotating as they come into a better environment, supporting some of those storms that could be on the twisting side. And then as we go into our morning hours tomorrow, scattered showers, thunderstorms. Notice here around 7 o'clock, each of these could be rotating and have the potential to produce damaging wind, as well as obviously if they're rotating, they could produce tornadoes. The greatest threat is going to be by far to the east, and then we're going to just keep these scattered showers kind of going as we go through the evening hours. So the threat today off to the west, we are under a marginal threat for, again, maybe an isolated strong storm or two, but the main threat is going to be tomorrow, where we are in an enhanced to a moderate risk, even the eastern portions of our viewing area in this red color, that moderate risk. That means widespread strong severe storms. I think we'll see numerous strong severe storms through the day tomorrow. So isolated tonight, 6 o'clock to midnight, damaging wind and quick spin-ups. Into the day tomorrow, we actually are going to see 2 rounds, and your damaging winds could get to reasonable maximum intensities of 75 miles an hour. Tornadoes could be as strong as EF2s. So we're going to have to take this threat very seriously. After that, we cool down Tuesday into Wednesday, warming back up by spring arriving on Friday.
What are experts suggesting to make sure that you and your family are prepared? So a few things. First, you want to make sure you have an emergency kit on hand. That includes the proper medication, making sure that you have pet food if you need it, even just having extra bottled water, things that you could use in an emergency or time of need. Something else, have a safety plan in your home. Is there a space that does not have any type of windows? That can be considered a safe place, especially if it's low lying as well, or any type of tornado or any type of strong winds that could be blowing through. Something else to put on your list, Take a look at some of the things that you have outside. That could include outdoor patio furniture, or even if you have fuel tanks, even your vehicles that are outside. If you can, bring your vehicle in the garage. Make sure that those fuel tanks are secured, and then also make sure that that furniture that's outside has some type of covering over it, or that it is secure. Just a few things to put on your radar as
Yeah, you want to move that furniture with the high winds expected up to 60 miles per hour. Of course, those winds could also cause some problems for power lines. That's why our Nixon Norman spoke with Duke Energy about how you can get ready now.
That's right, Ben. With those strong winds rolling through the Triad, I spoke with Duke Energy about some of the do's and don'ts of going into this storm. One of the things you should never do is walk over top or get near downed power lines. The same goes for your pets. Jeff Brooks with Duke Energy says it's best to not even drive over them in order to just keep everyone safe. When it comes to the things you should do, he says take it slow on the roadways, not only when it comes to those conditions, but really to keep crews safe. He also says you should also be patient with crews as these high winds can prove especially dangerous for them.
Do keep in mind that their safety is first. So when the wind gets above 29 miles per hour, we can't put those buckets in the air safely. So we won't be doing that in those instances. So that could potentially extend some outages in some cases if conditions are not safe to work. But do know that as soon as they are safe to work, our crews will be out. They'll be working to restore your power.
Brooks says if you do rely on electricity for medical equipment, you need to figure out where you can go in case of a power outage ahead of time.
Also think about lightning. If you're outside when lightning strikes and you can't get to shelter, experts say there are a few ways you can lower your risk. You want to avoid open areas like fields, hilltops, or ridges. Second, stay away from tall objects like trees or poles. Finally, this one is really strange, but NOAA says it's real, so listen up. If you're in a group, spread out so a lightning strike doesn't travel between people. Bottom line, if you hear thunder, get inside. Experts say you also need to think about protecting your electronics and other devices. 2 Once Know's Tanya Rivera shows us how to keep your tech safe when the weather turns severe.
The wind, the rain, the lightning, then the power outages, and then of course all the storm damage that is left behind. This is really what gets all the attention, right? But it's more likely that the real damage comes from all the things that you have plugged in that are now just fried.
Make sure to unplug your electronics before the storm, not once it's started. Also make sure to stay away from any devices that are still plugged in because lightning can actually travel through your home's wiring.
An easy way to protect your stuff and you, keep your valuable electronics plugged into a surge protector all the time. There are whole home surge protectors that can cost $50 to what most of us would need to more than $500. That's for folks who are in areas with frequent lightning storms.
It's the easiest way to guarantee your devices stay safe during a storm.
And I want you to take a good look at this because this is a surge protector. Usually comes with a light that is there that says protected or not protected. If there are too many things plugged in and the light is not on or it's got a red glow, it means that it's not going to protect your items any longer. The device is simply acting as a power strip. Now, don't miss this. Your phone is often your lifeline, right? So when the power goes out, you need to switch to a battery saver mode to help preserve its juice. On most phones, it dials back features that drain your battery. So expect to see your screen dim a little bit and the background refreshers will stop. The email fetch will also be paused.
Be the first to know when a storm's nearby with the WFMY News 2 weather app. It's powered by the most accurate weather team in the Triad. It sends alerts and warnings right to your phone. Download for free from the App Store. Today is Selection Sunday, and as we speak right now, college teams around the country are learning whether they're in the big dance. WFMY News 2's Bryce Parker has a look at those North Carolina teams that already punched their ticket.
Selection Sunday is here, and we have 4 local teams who are headed to the big dance. Duke, North Carolina, NC State, and High Point have all punched their ticket. Here is where each team is expected to land when it comes down to seeding. Now we're going to start with the Duke Blue Devils. They're the #1 team in the country and the ACC champion. So they're projected to be the #1 seed in the East. They're also the favorite to win it all this year. Now for the North Carolina Tar Heels, they're projected to be a 6th seed going to this tournament. They do have an uphill battle as they'll head into March Madness without their star freshman, Caleb Wilson. Now moving on to the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. They've had an up and down season this year, so they're projected to be anywhere from a 9 to a 10 seed, meaning they'll have the toughest 2-game stretch ahead if they want to make it out of the first weekend. And finally, High Point, who's making only their 2nd ever tournament appearance this year. We have them projected to be a 12 or 13 seed. High Point will be looking to win their 1st ever tournament game this upcoming week.
The brackets are coming out right now. Take a live look at HPU. They're waiting to learn their fate. In just under an hour, our sports team will be live at HPU and across North Carolina, looking at where your favorite teams ended up. Hundreds stepped back in time this weekend as Greensboro hosted the annual reenactment of the Battle of Guilford Courthouse. Although the British won this battle, it's seen as a turning point in the war. American troops killed so many redcoats, the British had to retreat out of the Carolinas, marching towards their eventual surrender at Yorktown. People in the reenactment say it's important to remember those who fought for our freedom.
And we're trying to recreate and keep the history alive. So, making a modern recipe, opening cans and dumping, that's just, it's not being true to the people that we're trying to respect and remember. And particularly from the civilian aspect of it.
Making all this even more special, it is the 250th anniversary of America's independence. Today, Winston-Salem Fire Department celebrated a local trailblazer, Robert Greer. He's one of the first 8 black firefighters to help integrate the Winston-Salem Fire Department. He just turned 104 years old. To honor his legacy, firefighters from Winston-Salem and Kernersville held a parade of trucks just for him. The department says the celebration was a way to recognize Greer's courage, service, and the path he helped pave for future generations of firefighters. As we face the threat of storms, our neighbors out west are still cleaning up from Hurricane Helene. In Lake Lure, the storm washed away buildings, docks, and even damaged part of the lake itself. Now leaders say they are moving closer to reopening both the lake and the marina.
This is a huge boon to the community, of course.
Helene washed away buildings, docks, and one of the town's biggest features, the lake itself. Mayor Carol Pritchett tells me the town continues to work towards reopening both the lake and the Washburn Marina.
You can see where the boardwalk is, and so that connects the entry there to the marina over on that side, so that people are able to walk all along there in order to get to the beach. And that's critical for people to be able to go back and forth to the beach. This will be the permanent boat docks over here.
Local leaders tell me most of the town's revenue comes from renting boat slips and permits, something they haven't been able to do since the storm.
So our revenue's been down about 50%, which is, so to that point, the increased revenue to the town is really important.
Pritchett says the reopening of the lake and the marina go hand in hand.
We are coming up now, and I believe we're about at 982.5, and so we just have to be at 990.5. So that's very reasonable to think that we could accomplish that.
The town hopes to have the lake reopen for this year's season, something local restaurants say would help boost their foot traffic.
We're here all year, but it definitely affects us during the summertime because it is a seasonal job. With the lake being open, it draws more people towards us business-wise.
And breaking right now, we just found out that Alamance Burlington school system will also cancel classes tomorrow. It's going to be, they say, an optional teacher work day for staff. That's because of those high winds, the school buses just can't get there safely.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking outside of thunderstorms, seeing wind gusts up to the 40-mile-an-hour range, and so that's going to be thunderstorms. You can see gusts as strong as hurricane force. So it's very, very important that you have at least 3 ways to get warnings. Look at this list. You can pick any of these, just have at least 3. So if one fails, you have the other 2 to give you warnings. You want a way to be able to wake yourself up tonight, because we could see at least the isolated strength of some stronger storms tonight. That becomes more numerous into the day tomorrow. I think we'll see a morning round and into the afternoon as well. And of course, we're going to keep you updated on Plus. We have a couple of cut-ins coming in later on tonight where I'll break down all of the latest, what we're seeing, what the latest trends are, and continue to keep you safe and in the know of what's going on so that you can prepare and not be scared of those storms. We're going to get through it together.
And don't forget at 7 o'clock right here on WFMY Plus, our special selection show for March Madness.